Faculty of Science and Technology at the UWI Mona, Professor Daniel Coore, graduate student at the School of Education at UWI Mona, Miss Hopegay Williams, and senior teacher and mathematics teacher at Excelsior High School, Mrs. Remeise Burrell. They'll be joining us to discuss how AI is transforming traditional teaching methods in Jamaican classrooms, exploring both the benefits and the challenges of these advancements. Good morning.
Morning, everyone.
TVJ Smile Jamaica.
Professor, we usually say ladies first, but I'm going to start with you, sir. What does artificial intelligence mean?
That's a tough question, you know. The term has been around since the 1950s.
Wow.
But in the mainstream, we kind of learned about it in November 30, 2022. OpenAI released, let's say unleashed onto the world, their chatbot, which is ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. And that's what made everybody sort of pay attention. The kind of AI that it covers is called generative AI. And what that is basically a piece of software that you can interact with like it was a person. You can speak to it, interact, give it commands that are in plain English. And it apparently understands and it responds and communicates with you as if it's another person. Of course, it's a piece of software.
Yeah, why you say apparently?
Because when you interact with it, if you didn't know better, you might think it's another person.
Okay.
But it is not.
Okay.
And it has many fallacies that can easily fool people, and that's one of the problems. It doesn't hesitate to tell you that it thinks something is true. It just says, yeah, it's true. And it may not be true. But it has, whereas a person will at least say, I think so, or I'm not sure, these tools will just tell you as if it's factual. So that's the danger in using them. Use them for creativity, not for information.
Well, one of the things we're discussing this morning, Hopegay, is how AI is going to help teaching. Talk to me.
Well,
I'm very skeptical, you know, because I feel like it makes people lazy, but go on and tell me.
No, AI should not be seen as the enemy.
Okay.
We should embrace the technology. It is here. It's not going anywhere. We have to get with the times. And as educators, it can help to make our lives easier. It can help us to focus on the important things. So, for example, we'll spend less time on delivering content. Students have access to the technologies. They can do their searches. Now we'll focus on applying that knowledge. So in the classroom, design creative lessons to ensure that the knowledge is being applied in the right context. So it's not so much about what you know, it's what you can do with what you know.
Mm. Mrs. Burrell, have you used it?
I have.
In what way?
Well, I can speak to the workshop that I attended that you would have put on. I use it for lesson planning mainly because it's not lazy or it's not making me lazy, as Dela would say, but it's an ally and it makes planning easier. So whereas not having that AI tool, I'd have to probably sit for like 2 hours to create lessons, having all the necessary.
So tell me exactly what you do to help you. What do? You just
All
say, AI, give me a lesson plan?
Well, I personally use ChatGPT as it is now.
Yeah.
So if I want to write a lesson plan for example, I would be specific. From the workshop, I would have learned that I need to prompt it. So I put in specific information to get my desired result. So if I'm planning a lesson, for example, on matrices, I say, create a 5-year lesson plan for my grade 10 class, the duration of an hour, giving me assessment questions, and it gives me everything that I need.
Just before Delia, Professor, from what you said earlier, isn't that a concern that what AI might be telling our ChatGPT is not necessarily the right thing?
And she was clearly a good student because the way that she just outlined how you prompt it is what we teach. Talk about being specific. When it gives you back its response, you're responsible for checking everything it's telling you. So if you're going to use that as a basis for a lesson plan, make sure that it's accurate. It's great for giving you inspiring ideas, how you might proceed. You can even ask it, explain it like I'm 5. So if you know you have some students who need it explained another way, or you might have some advanced students that want to know more, you can pre-create these lesson plans targeted at different audiences. but then you go and vet the information. So it helps with the creativity part, helps with inspiring you, but don't rely on it for the facts.
Yeah, it will give you a kickstart. My concern, Hopegay, is where the student is as well. So how do you now, as a teacher, balance that? Because as a student, I can say, please write me a 5-page essay on Caribbean history in the novel so-and-so.
And that's where ethics comes in. So with the advantages of AI, there are some challenges and some concerns. So we have to ensure that as educators, we engage with the technology ethically, and we also assist our students, teach them, encourage them to do so ethically as well. Because the reality is, when they transition into the world of work, they will be interfacing with this technology. So we are not going to bar them from interacting with it in the classroom, is to do so responsibly.
Okay.
I am still a little bit concerned. Go ahead, Professor. You wanted to say something.
Yeah, the point you raised, Daniel, is crucial. It challenges our assessments. It challenges our standard assessment. Before 2022, we'll be satisfied with a question in an exam that says, explain how whatever your topic is works. And if a student wrote a solid essay, you'd say, yeah, man, the student knows. Now, if it's for homework, you're not sure if to just give it to the large language model. So what, as educators, we have to do is find more engaging, more reliable ways that we can assess. As you heard, we can't ban them because that might put them at a disadvantage when they graduate. So our challenge as educators is how do we engage with AI in order to use it to create better assessments. And some examples of ways you can do this is you can set assignments that ask the student to use the large language model and then reflect on its answer. So you might ask them, tell me where it made any mistakes. What answer would you have given? Would it have been better? What do you think of what it gave you? Which is sort of layering the process and making them now think at another level. And I think ultimately we're going to get to the point where we want to have as explicit outcomes competence with the use of these tools, but of course not sacrificing the critical information that we want from the topic.
Which is where I was saying my concern is, Remeise, because if a student uses it, and again, going back to your first response that you know certain if what I'm telling you is right.
Yes.
And professor said, well, check it. How the student go and check it? Because him getting something from AI that him think is the right thing. Him not about to check it. So when he comes to you and it's the wrong thing, then what happened then?
All right, so
I don't know if you understand the question that I'm asking.
I believe I do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they use the AI tool and it gives them some information.
Right.
Evidently, they're just working with it. They're not sure if it's correct.
Right.
Right? How is it now that they are going to be able to find out if it is correct? Well, we probably could go back to Google. Check. Textbook.
That's the whole point.
Right.
You're trying to test if they know what they're supposed to know.
No, that's my point,
Right?
you know. I'm agreeing with you.
But AI is not replacing, it's not taking over.
Right.
We do have a role to facilitate, to ensure that students are engaged with the material in the correct way. And there are also other technologies out there, other AI applications that can detect whether the information was generated by AI technology. So it's growing. You have intelligent tutoring systems that can assist students outside of the classroom space. So it helps with continuing learning. So it's not a bad thing, so to speak.
No, I'm not suggesting it's bad, but I go back to even what Delia said in a fun way.
Challenges.
Yeah, and not only that, it might end up having some lazy people around for true.
So true.
You know? Well, I mean, I think she said it tongue in cheek, but it could very well end up with some.
But that's exactly where the new assessments would come in. So lazy people who are highly productive may not be so much of a problem. But graduating people with certificates that say they know something and can do something but actually can't, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So from an educational standpoint, that's our challenge. How do we meet that challenge using these tools?
How do you keep a pace with the technology, Professor? Because I mean, you
It's
mentioned
ever-changing.
ChatGPT.
Right.
There's something now that's being advertised. I think it's AI Thur, it's a funny name, and it's saying, oh, forget ChatGPT. I can give you a 90,000 word thesis, and I know how to hide it, so if they check, it doesn't say AI did it. So how do you keep a pace with all of the technology?
The pace that AI developments have occurred at is
Yes.
absolutely incredible.
Yes.
There are literally weekly developments that matter. Like, for example, just recently, DeepMind, which is a subsidiary of Alphabet, sister company to Google, had some researchers produce large language models that could read Math Olympiad problems and score nearly at gold medal level. Now, for context, none of us don't reach no Math Olympiad. and so now this is much less get medal, right? And before that, we would have said these tools are very bad at logic reasoning. Now, this doesn't mean that they're now suddenly good at logical reasoning.
Yep.
But here's an example. Math problems, difficult geometric problems where you have to draw construction, know about circle theorems, etc., and then prove things. And here you have these models doing that. So these developments occur, and what we have to be doing is sort of paying attention. I mean, I read, I watch YouTube videos on, there are certain authors and influencers, presenters that are, they do their research, so they come and show you the paper, and that's how you keep abreast. You just rely on other people to help you.
Yeah.
We got the wrap up. You're not concerned that it stunts critical thinking?
No, because at the end of the day, the jobs that are coming on stream, students need to challenge themselves to think deeper about stuff. Okay. And if it is that we can engage with the technologies to push them to think beyond the surface level of any problem they encounter, we're going to have good stewards of the future.
Well explained, you all. Thank you so much for coming, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Professor in the Department of Computing, Faculty of Science and Technology at UWI Mona, Professor Daniel Coore, graduate students at the School of Education at UWI Mona, Ms. Hopegay Williams, and senior teacher and mathematics teacher at Excelsior High School, Mrs. Remeise Burrell.
Kind of feel safe if it did about with me, made a graduate. But it never did about. Me never graduate. All right, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we talk about adjusting to dorm life. We're talking about the university here. So come, stay with us, please.